Your spouse's annoying habits could be ruining your life. Hey, this is Gabe and Melissa.
So dramatic.
And welcome to Marriage Monthly.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking about, actually, we're in a series here that we created, and it's called My Spouse is Driving Me Crazy. This is part 2.
Yeah.
And we're talking about annoying habits.
Yeah, last month we talked about communication.
Yeah. Today, annoying habits.
Okay, so when I was thinking about this, my favorite show is How I Met Your Mother. And don't judge me. And because I know it's not entirely appropriate, but it's so funny. So one of my favorite episodes is called Bad Habits. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So they're all irritated with each other because of these habits that each of them have, and they can't stand it. It's like Ted is a corrector and Lily chews too loud. And
yes.
Remember that one?
Yes.
And then, Marshall sings as he does chores, and Barney does a high voice, all this stuff. And they all have these things, right? And Robin says literally constantly, and it drives Ted crazy. And then they're so irritated with each other. And then all of a sudden, Marshall remembers that one of the songs that everybody remembered was actually his code to figure out if he passed the bar.
Right.
And so they run over to the computer and they're like, he's like, I'm a lawyer. And he passed the bar, and they were all freaking out, and it was amazing. And they went and celebrated, and they all forgot about how irritated they were with each other. And in the last line, and I never noticed this before, but it says, if you love them enough, those bad habits are easy to forget.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know.
That's pretty good.
I know. I thought that was kind of cute.
They stole that from the Bible.
Well, probably.
We can talk about where in just a couple minutes.
There's some annoying habits, though, wouldn't you say? I mean, we just wrote down a few.
Okay, let's talk about a few.
Okay.
All right.
These are not necessarily about you.
Well,
or me.
let's talk about them. Let's get into it for a second.
Okay, this is funny.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, well, there's snoring.
There is snoring.
Which I don't do.
Some people are messy.
Which is not me. Lazy.
Yes. Also refuses to allow plastic dishes to be washed in the dishwasher.
Oh, that is just common sense. You just shouldn't do that. That's how things get like.
That one wasn't on the list. I just thought of it and
you just added that one.
Yeah.
What about those people that clip nails? Like they clip their toenails like in the kitchen or on the couch. It's so disgusting. I'm
awesome.
like, are you kidding me right now?
Okay, there's workaholics.
Yeah.
People working too much.
That's not me. Weird noises. So like I am constantly making weird noises. So I know this is my problems. Whatever, moving on.
Okay. Chews too loud.
That
and
is
I have
totally
been accused
you.
of this, and I don't understand it. I just chew regular. Maybe I eat hard food.
I mean, seriously, I can hear you chewing cottage cheese. I'm like, what on earth? Why okay, some people have potty mouths.
Yes, there's potty mouths.
Yeah.
People who show up late.
Oh my gosh, this drives you crazy.
Stuff. Yeah.
This is like probably your biggest pet peeve.
I think it's the worst offense.
It's so disrespectful. Yeah. How about sarcasm? I'm a little sarcastic, but it can go over the top with some people.
If everything is like sarcastic.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Okay, somebody who can't be serious. That's an annoying habit. You just cannot be serious.
What about someone that's too loud all the time?
Or like a loud talker.
Loud talker or close talker.
Close talker.
Seinfeld.
Yeah. Someone who's too quiet. That could be annoying.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of that girl from Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, you're pulling in your shows and your movies.
What'd she say? I ate my twin in the womb.
Absolutely.
Sorry. What about, cover hogs? I know that's me. Don't even look at me like that.
It is you. Because when you're gone for the night.
It doesn't move?
It doesn't move.
But when you're gone, it doesn't move. So I blame you. Whatever.
I don't know. Okay. Somebody who cracks their knuckles all the time.
I kind of do that.
I kind of do that too.
Takes long showers. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
When the kids were growing up, I thought I was going to go insane. They would like take 30-minute showers. I'm like, who's paying the water bill around here?
Right.
Come on.
Leaves lights and fans on. Sorry about that.
It's so annoying. Okay, I'm just going to say this because it's kind of gross, but like farting all the time. Like some guys like fart on their spouses.
I just would never do something like that.
Oh, not on me.
No way.
That's disgusting, but some people do. Anyways, it's gross.
Okay. How about this? Snacks before meals?
Oh, I hate that so much. Like I'm like slaving away making this like awesome meal, and then people will go and open the fridge and like look around and grab grapes and blueberries and crackers. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Am I not cooking a glorious meal?
Yeah.
It'll be done in 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay, this last one. They wear shoes around the house. Like
who does?
Just some people.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you and Caleb, but seriously, I don't really care anymore. Like when we first got the carpet, it was like this big deal. Oh my gosh, take your shoes off. But now it's like, we have so many events at the house and not everybody's comfortable taking their shoes off. So I don't make it a big deal, but there's some gross stuff on the bottom of shoes. And not to mention, like a lot of cultures, like that's so disrespectful, like Asian cultures and Hawaiian culture, you don't wear your shoes in the house. So you got to be like, and it's just gross to me, but it's not necessarily a huge deal at our house, but it is kind of annoying.
Okay. So you probably have your own list going now, and we don't mean to stir the poop here, but we probably are. So if you're listening with your spouse, just be kind for a second. We have a point to all of this. Because, the my spouse is driving me crazy thing, I think everybody feels like that from time to time.
Absolutely.
And, you can take it too far, right? You can take that too far. So here's the problem. We'll define the problem, then we're going to kind of walk through the solution to this, because this kind of wells up, and you know how it is. Like you can try to be quiet about some of these things for a while, and then sometimes there's a little mini explosion, or sometimes a massive explosion, just because you've been holding it in.
Yeah.
But the problem with this is really expecting my spouse to be exactly like me, because I can do this, I'm at the dinner table doing this thing like this, and I don't even notice it. It's just like I'm just doing my thing, but it's annoying to everyone around me.
It's like you don't even notice it, but I do the same thing in bed at night. I move my feet.
I know.
The whole time, like I'm a little cricket or something.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but everybody has habits.
They do. And they're different. And so it's going like if my spouse is different than me, then they're weird or they're wrong. Right.
Right.
And so that is actually the problem. And it really comes back to selfishness, actually. So don't mean to step on any toes, but when I'm overly annoyed by my spouse, I'm actually being selfish. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But the solution is found in Ephesians chapter 4. Is it 4? Yeah. Verses 2 through 3.
Yeah.
And so we're going to walk through two very simple verses that can help us to figure out how do we deal with this, because it's real. I mean, it's real. We're not denying that habits are annoying or that spouses drive each other crazy.
Yeah.
But there's more to the story.
Yeah. How do you deal with it? So, I when I found these verses, I was like, we got to teach on these.
Yeah, that was good.
Always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowances for each other's faults because of your love. That's Ephesians 4:2. And that's the one I'm going to tackle. And the first thing is to be humble. I don't like this one, but this means thinking of yourself less.
Yeah.
Not
that's good.
Thinking you're less of a person, but just not always being in the front of everything. So I think you're very good at this, though. You always look out for me first. And I mean, maybe not in your head, but I love that you're confident, but you're not boastful about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You believe what you believe, and you're confident in where you are in your gifting and how God works with you, and just that you're a good husband, a good dad, and stuff like that. But you're not cocky about it. I always think, and I've told you this a million times, that you are the calm in my storm, because I can be loud and I can be aggressive and passionate. I'm Italian. It just comes out. I can't help it. But you let me speak. He lets me speak. And then he kind of comes in, calms me down. Gives me some new perspective maybe. And even sometimes, every once in a great while, I'm wrong, but he never throws it in my face. And so this reminds me, several years ago, there was a guy named Chester.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
This guy came at Gabe yelling and screaming, and I caught wind of it, and I was up in this old man's face. I was probably 25 at the time. Maybe I was young.
Maybe 30.
I don't even know about that. But I was up in his face. I shoved him. I was so mad that he was attacking my man. I just got really aggressive.
He didn't physically attack me.
Yeah, but he was screaming and yelling. He was
but I was
foaming
hoping
at the
he'd
mouth.
be my bodyguard.
Well, so I got really aggressive, but Gabe just stood there like a rock in the storm. It was literally, he said a few words and he walked away. And I think that's confident humility. He didn't need to freak out. Sometimes he'll get nastygrams, or I'll get a nastygram. I just want to go back and just rip him a new one. And he's like, nope, I'll respond in 24 hours. I mean, he just is humble. He doesn't want to jump at everything that comes his way and that is aggressive. And he just takes almost the backseat sometimes and it's really mature. So being humble, is not great for me. But the Bible says always be humble. And the second point, it says always be gentle. Having a mild and kind temperament. And I feel like also that Gabe's never harsh with me. Sometimes I see spouses and husbands that are very harsh with their wife, just aggressive and like even.
Well, and I think when it comes to annoying habits, it's easy to do that because it creates almost like a physical reaction in you.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
So it's easy to just go with that. And
I just feel like it's really hard. And so sometimes I'll have nightmares at night. I have no idea where they stem from.
Yeah.
But I have them all the time. And Gabe will just like gently put his hand on me until I stop breathing like hysterically and calm down.
No.
Huh?
Not until you stop breathing.
Not until I'm stop. Well, until I calm down.
Okay.
Chill the breathing. But he's just very gentle with me and always caring for me and making sure I'm okay. So he's very humble and gentle. And then the next thing is be patient. I love this wording here. It says you can tolerate issues without becoming too annoyed. Tolerate issues without getting too annoyed. Like, I think that's really, that would be awesome. But I feel like that you're the most patient person that I know. And you don't make a big deal out of everything. Everything's not dramatic. If I freak out, you're calm, cool, and collected. And it drives me crazy. But you're good at problem solving.
Is that an annoying habit?
Yeah, maybe. But you're good at problem solving and you listen to others without pushing your own agenda, which I think is patient. Because most people, when someone's talking, they have something else in their head that they want to say. And you just wait. And sometimes you even let there be silence, which I hate silence, but you let it be quiet. And sometimes that needs to happen. So when you listen to people, you reason with people, and you're patient with me. I remember a couple weeks ago, we had this big party at the house. Our kids were in town. We had a big party. It went on late. Gosh, it was like 11:30 or 12 o'clock midnight by the time everybody got out.
I do remember thinking, I hope the neighbors are not mad at us.
Oh my gosh, they probably were. And I just went on this cleaning frenzy at like midnight because the house was filthy and I was just like not having it. And you were so patient with me. You were like, okay, it's going to be okay. And he jumps in with me and starts helping me clean because he knew I wasn't going to go to bed until it was done. And he probably would have felt bad if he plopped down on the couch while I was like running around.
My kids too. So I know, pitch in.
So, but you're so patient with me and my just like, I got to clean the house, And then the last one, which I think is the clincher here. Like, I think this is the big one in this verse. It's making allowances for each other's faults or annoying habits because of your love. I was thinking about, remember when you first started dating your spouse? Like they literally could do nothing wrong, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like it was like they were
so cute.
Perfect. I love that.
She wants to clean all the time.
Oh, I love how he does this or says this or cute how he,
I think it's so cute how she doesn't let plastic wear in the dishwasher.
Or how he cracks his knuckles or cracks his neck. But yeah. But it's like you literally have like love goggles on, right? When you first start dating, you don't notice anything. And I love how the NIV says they're bearing with one another. Isn't that interesting? They're bearing with one another. And the NASB version of the Bible says showing tolerance for one another in love. Showing tolerance. I mean, we would say we're a pretty tolerant society, but we're not very tolerant people.
No.
So it's kind of ironic, right? Because we're like so tolerant about everything. But then if it affects us, we are not tolerant at all. So, I mean, I think it's like give each other a little breathing room. Maybe let them try something new. Let them fail. Let them crack their knuckles. Maybe leave a towel on the ground once in a while. But we can't make a big deal of everything. We have said this so many times on these podcasts. Don't make a big deal of everything.
It's almost like if you only could boil down marriage to a few secrets, it'd be one of them.
Chill out. Yeah.
Pick your battles. You
don't want your spouse to feel like they're walking on eggshells though, every time they walk in the house, right? Because like, I know a lot of marriages that have fallen apart because the spouse walks in and feels like, I don't even want to be here right now.
Yeah. Because
I feel like I can't do anything. I can't say anything. I can't walk anywhere. Can't do anything. I'm just walking on eggshells every second of every day. And it's really, really stressful. So I kind of like control of my kitchen. It's my kitchen. I'm the cooker in our house. But every once in a while, Gabe wants to cook or make crepes or whatever. And recently we had a family crepe night, which was awesome. But the kitchen got pretty dirty. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing that he's trying to have fun and make memories and let me off the hook. So if you like look at it like that, instead of being like, man, the kitchen is so filthy right now. Oh my gosh, I have so much to clean up. This is stressing me out. Just sit back and relax and let them do it their way. And then it'll all work out. I did clean up the kitchen after that.
I tried
heinous mess.
Yeah, it was pretty messy.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. It was pretty bad. But you know what? It was a memory maker. The kids were there. It was fun. It was funny. But, but it's okay. We had fun. And I was just like, you know what? Chill. I literally had to tell myself in my head, just relax. It's all good. Just calm down. It's okay. Make a little space, right? Make a little space for your tolerance.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the pie illustration. Gabe and I've talked about this before. You have the pie, and I'm going to say the Costco pie, the 16 slicer.
The pumpkin pie or apple. They're both huge.
Just a huge pie, 16 slices. And one of the slices has like a little mark on it or a little dent, or maybe it's gone. And that's all you can focus on, right? It's like the puzzle that has the one missing piece. All you focus on that. And it reminds me of this whole thing, because it's like, an annoying habit is such a small slice of your relationship. And sometimes we make it the whole pie. Just stop. Like, focus on the 15 awesome slices that is your spouse, and relax with the pie, the little annoying part that bothers you, the slice that bothers you. Because when we fixate on that stuff, that's when trouble happens. And it happens, and I've watched it happen. So going from Ephesians 4:2, be humble, be gentle, be patient, and make allowances for each other's faults because of your love.
That's great. Love it.
Thanks.
Then verse 3 says, in following with what Paul the apostle is saying there, he says, make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit, binding yourselves together with peace. And I mean, the language in both of these verses is pretty special.
Yeah.
He's saying make every effort. That's super clear. That almost takes all of our excuses away.
Right.
What is every effort? When it comes to like an annoying habit, I mean, go back to the list: snoring, clips the nails, leaves lights on, farts too much, chews loud, all these things. You could get really annoyed by that, but make every effort might include like putting on your AirPods and putting them in, silent mode so you don't hear all this stuff. I mean,
never do that.
There's ways to do these things that could be part of like, did I try this? Did I try this? Did I try this? So maybe like a little more self-evaluation on this could be helpful to go like, okay, I know I'm annoyed by what they're doing, but what effort have I put into keeping our marriage united in the Spirit?
I think also you got to if you're going to put the AirPods on, give them a heads up. I got to finish studying, or like Gabe will do this sometimes. I got to work through this thing. I'm going to put my AirPods on so I can get through. Because if I just looked over there and was talking to you and you had your AirPods on, I'd be like, super
and sometimes
offended.
you do. And this might be one of my annoying habits. I have this one certain chair in our house, and it's my think chair.
Yeah.
She's the one that bought it for me. It's her fault. And so I sit in it and I do stuff. And sometimes, like if TV's on, I don't like TV as background noise. It's distracting for me. So I put in my AirPods and I put them on, noise reduction. And then she'll be like asking me a question, and then she'll ask like 3-4 times. And then finally I'm going to see these hands waving over
like
across the room.
Person.
Like, hey, pay attention over here.
That is annoying.
Yeah. Well, so is the arm waving.
Thanks for pointing that
out. Okay. I want to just say this is really about putting your spouse above yourself. If you make every effort, it's really about going. Philippians 2 even says, consider others more important than yourself. And so sometimes when it comes to annoying habits, and especially, once you close the doors to your home, you're like, I'm in my castle. And you kind of have this mentality switch where you expect everything to be exactly like you want it, right? And I think that's why home becomes such a landmine sometimes. But I want to just ask the question, what if they have it right and you're the one that's wrong? You know what I mean? Because we've all grown up with a normal, what we think is normal.
Yeah.
The way the dishwasher gets loaded, the way the refrigerator is organized, the way what goes in the fridge, what doesn't go in the fridge, what goes in the cupboard, how we make the bed, when we make the bed, who makes the bed, who locks the doors. All these things are things that we grew up with however we grew up is normal, right?
Normal,
and then we come together and our two normals are not the same.
Right.
And what if they have it right? We always think, well, this is the way you do it because this is the way you do it.
Yeah.
But I think this is about taking a step back and, if you're going to make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit, you probably need to just consider that they might actually be right, or that their way might make more sense even.
Right.
And I think in the end, it's really about grace, having grace with the person that God has given you. They're a gift. And I think that we got to treat him like that. He finishes that verse by saying, binding yourselves together with peace. And I kind of picture, there's actually this really cool thing that we've done a couple of times for wedding ceremonies. It's called hand fasting. And what happens is you're fastening the bride and groom's hands together with a ribbon. I think it's an Irish tradition, but it's a part of the ceremony that we've done before. And it's just this visual picture that we are together. And I think this is what Paul wants us to envision, binding yourselves together with peace. Peace is hard to agitate, Peace is deep, and it's based on something God has done, not something that we do. And so we can look at that and go, this holds us together.
Don't you think that peace is like, it feels like peace is circumstances, but it's also a feeling. So it's like kind of like inside and outside. It's like it's inside of you, but it's also something outside.
Yeah.
Like when I'm truly at peace, it's like my world feels like it's all in place.
Yeah.
Inside and outside.
I think that the feeling peace should be the least important to us. I know it is the most important because we feel it, but there's a peace that is a reality too. Like, for instance, we can have peace with God. And what that means is we've been made right with God. Even if, our checking account empties out, we can still have peace with God. So it's a reality that actually is detached from circumstances.
Yeah.
And I think if we just see ourselves, even as a couple, in that, super important. A couple language things. I love this stuff. But he says, make every effort. And what that literally means is I hasten, I am eager, I am zealous to move speedily by showing full diligence.
Aww.
And it's like, it puts me on the proactive side. Then if I'm going to make every effort, I need to be proactively like, how could I not be annoyed right now? How could I make every effort to keep our marriage united in the spirit, And so it's a real 100% effort of ourselves toward our spouse to make peace and make for unity rather than find division in some small thing that's not going to make a difference in the long haul, And then he uses the word peace, which means this. It means when all the essential parts are joined together. And it really means wholeness, oneness.
Yes.
So peace means, it's kind of like if we make peace with God, it's because our relationship is now back together. So it means one. And I think it's so important. Mark 10:9, Jesus himself said, let no one split apart what God has joined together.
Yeah.
Including me, and including you, that we wouldn't find a place to drive a little wedge. Like a lot of times when we're talking to parents, we're like, hey, the bottom line is kids are going to try and drive a wedge between a mom and a dad to test the waters, so they'll find where you disagree with each other. They're going to drive that wedge, right? They're not trying to be mean. It's just human nature. We ought to be very careful that we're not doing the same thing with the way we respond to how many crumbs come off the piece of toast when it comes out of the toaster, and whether we wipe those up right away, or, that kind of stuff. That's like, it's not going to make or break a marriage if you don't let it.
Yeah.
So those are some things I think. But I think here's the thing that I'm learning is when you look at it from this angle, your spouse's annoying habits are definitely not ruining your life.
Okay. This is true.
They're not ruining life. In fact, your spouse is a gift from God, designed to enrich you and make you the best person you can be. And so we want to encourage you to lean in and hold on, because we believe the best is yet to come.
Now, if there is an annoying habit that is detrimental, like say your spouse can't seem to be faithful to just you.
Oh yeah. And that is way beyond an annoying habit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking cracking knuckles here. We're not talking affairs and
we're not talking addiction to porn. We're not talking about those things that are clearly a violation of God's word and of your marriage covenant. I mean, those are not. So if you're in that situation, totally different story. You need to seek counsel. You need to get a pastor, get a counselor, and go to don't those much more weighty issues, which we talked about plenty. You can go back and we'll talk about more in the future. But don't make a mountain out of a molehill.
That's right.
I think is really what we're trying to say here, because marriage is so worth the effort when you really pursue the peace that God has for us.
That's right.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if so, we'd love for you to go ahead and share it with as many people as you can, to subscribe to all the content, and just to give us a comment and a like and a shout out. It'll be so helpful for us. We want to encourage you to keep popping back in here because we love to share ideas about how to have a lifelong happy marriage. Thanks for being with us.
Bye.